Hi there, I'm your math help tutor, and today we are going to learn about multiplication using the standard algorithm, or what's called as long multiplication. In the past lessons, we discussed how to multiply using different techniques, like the tape method, the area method, and the grid method. The tape method and the area method serve as introduction lessons for younger students in math so that they can understand the concept behind multiplication. These methods are also quite good to use for small numbers. As the numbers we multiply become bigger, the grid method, which is an advanced form of the area method, is much more useful. However, the grid method still takes up time and requires us to draw rectangles, which is not really preferable when we have to quickly multiply numbers. One of the fastest and easiest way to multiply numbers is by using the standard algorithm. The standard algorithm is kind of like a shortened version of the grid method, but this time we do not need to draw any grids. Let me show you how similar the grid method is to the standard algorithm. Say we would like to multiply 352 24 times, which can also be written as 352 times 24. So we're going to do the grid method here. If you use the grid method, we would have to draw a rectangle with sides that have a length of 352, or 300 plus 50 plus 2, and a height of 24, or 20 plus 4. Next, we create regions within the rectangle and proceed to getting the area of each smaller rectangle. So this is 300 times 20, which is equal to 6,000. 50 times 20, which is equal to 1,000. 2 times 20, which is equal to 40. 300 times 4, which is equal to 1,200. 50 times 4, which is equal to 200. And 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. And then finally, after all that, we add all the areas and then we get our answer. That's 6,000 plus 1,000 plus 40 plus 1,200 plus 200 plus 8. Using the standard algorithm to add all of these, we have 8 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. So using the grid method, we know that the answer to 352 times 24 is equal to 8,448. Now, you will notice that what we're actually doing here is we are getting the sum of the result of the multiplication of each place of the numbers. So what we're doing is we're multiplying each place of a number to each place of another number. To see this more clearly, let's write our numbers in line. So 352 is actually like 300 plus 50 plus 2. These numbers here in parenthesis is 352 multiplied by 24, which is 20 plus 4, and we put a parenthesis because this represents this number. So notice that we are multiplying each of the place of one number to each of the place of another number. So we have 2 times 4, which is this one, 50 times 4, which is this one, and then 300 times 4, which is this one, and then we also have 2 times 20, which is this one, 50 times 20, which is this one, and then 300 times 20, which is this one. And this is exactly what we do when we use the standard algorithm when multiplying numbers. We can also see this much better. If we write the two numbers in a column with the ones place of both numbers aligned, we can perform multiplication by each place. So if we write 352 times 24 and we convert these numbers into their expanded form, so we can have 300 plus 50 plus 2 multiplied by 20 plus 4, and then we'll put a line here. So we can do the same thing. We can distribute and multiply each of the places of the first number to each of the places of the second number. And then we write the answers below this line, and then we can add the results of the multiplication steps. So what we do now is let's multiply each place of the first number to each place of the second number. So let's do the ones place first. So 2 times 4 is 8, which is this region in our grid method. Let's put a plus here. 50 times 4, which is this one, is 200. And then we have 300 times 4, which is this one. That's 1,200. So since we are adding the areas, we put plus signs here, since we are adding all the areas in this region. And then let's do the tens place. Let's do 2 times 20, which is this region, and we know the answer is 40. Next, we do 50 times 20, which is this region, and we know the answer is 1,000. And then we put a plus sign as well. And then we do 300 times 20, which is this region, and we know that the answer is 6,000. So adding all these numbers together, we have 6,000, this one, plus 1,000, this one. We have 40, this one. We have 8, this one. 200 and 1,200, this is 1,200 and 200. So we did the addition already, so no need to recompute. And based on the addition we did a while ago, we know that the answer is 8,448. It's 8,448, which again is the answer to our question 352 times 24. Let's have another example, but this time we won't be drawing the rectangles anymore. Let's multiply 496 22 times. So we can write that as 496 times 22. If we write that in column, that's 496 times 22. If we write this in expanded form, we can write these numbers as 400 plus 90 plus 6, and then 22 we can write as 20 plus 2. And then let's put a line here to separate our numbers that we're multiplying from the answers. Remember from our past discussions that multiplying multi-digit numbers are actually just multiplying each place by the other number's place and then adding all the result. That's exactly what we do in the standard algorithm. So let's write the two numbers in a column, or one on top of another. Next, we multiply each place of the first number to that of the second number. So let's multiply each place of the first number to the places of the second number. Let's do the ones place first of the second number. So for the ones place, 6 times 2 is 12, 90 times 2 is 180, and 400 times 2 is 800. Now we're done with the ones place. Let's do the tens place. So let's have 6 times 20, which is 120, and then we do 90 times 20, which is 1,800, and then we do 400 times 20, which is 8,000. So adding all of these numbers together, let's use the standard algorithm to get the answer. So we have 800 plus 180 plus 12 plus 8,000 plus 1,800 plus 120. So for the ones place, we have 2. For the tens place, we have 8 plus 1 plus 2. That's 11. For the hundreds place, we have 8 plus 1 plus 8 plus 1 plus another 1. That's 19. And then for the thousands place, we have 8, 9, and plus 1. It's 10,912. So the answer to 496 times 22 is 10,912. But this method that we use to multiply the two numbers is still not the standard algorithm. It's just the explanation of what is happening whenever we use the standard algorithm to multiply numbers. Let me show you a little bit more about what happens when we use the standard algorithm. Try to compare it with the computations on this side. So now we are going to use the standard algorithm. So what we do is we still write the numbers in a column like the one we did over here. And then, same as before, we multiply each place of the first number to the first place of the second number. So first we start off with 6 times 2, which is 12. But instead of writing 12 here, we're going to carry over the second digit on top of the digit where it was supposed to be in. And this 6 times 2 that we did is actually the 6 times 2 over here, which gave us an answer of 12. Next, we move on to 9 times 2. So 9 times 2 that we're doing here in the standard algorithm is actually this one, 90 times 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. What we did here was 90 times 2 was 180. So instead of writing 180 over here, we carry over this 1 because we can only just write one digit, because in the standard algorithm we just leave the first digit and then the next digit we carry over on top of the digit where we're supposed to apply the answer. Let's erase 1 over here. And by the way, all the carryovers over here are the carryovers for our multiplication of the ones place. Now, since we have a carryover from our multiplication of 6 times 2, we are going to add that 1 to 8, which makes this 9. Next, let's have 4 times 2. And 4 times 2 is actually this one. It's 400 times 2, which gave us 800. So instead of writing 800, we're just going to deal with the digits. That's 4 times 2. That's an 8. But remember, we have a carry of 1, which we are going to add to this answer. So 8 plus 1 becomes 9. Next, let's move on to multiplication of each of these places of our first number to the tens place of the second number. And by the way, the answers here are the answers to the multiplication of each of these places to the ones place of the second number. Now, in the second line, we're going to write the answers for the multiplication of each of these places to the tens place of the second number. So let's do 6 times 2, which is actually this one, 6 times 20. And we know that 6 times 20 was 120. So in our case, 6 times 2 is 120. But instead of writing it this way, again, we retain the last digit, which is 2. We carry over this digit over here to remember that we have to add it later on. And then you can choose to retain the 0 over here. Or in many cases, we just erase that 0 and leave this portion blank. But that's actually a 0 that's supposed to be there. Okay, so we're done with 6 times 2 or 6 times 20. Now let's do 9 times 2. Now 9 times 2 is 18. Now 9 times 2 is actually 90 times 20, which is supposed to be 1,800. So instead of writing 1,800 over here, we just disregard the 2 zeros, leave 8, which is the first digit of the result of 9 times 2, and then we carry over the digit to its left on top of the space where it's supposed to be so that we can remember that there's a carryover of 1. And by the way, these are the carryovers for the multiplication in the tens place. Now, since we have a carryover from what we did from 6 times 2, we're going to add that carryover to the 8, where, of course, 8 plus 1 becomes 9. And then last is 4 times 2, which is actually 400 times 20. So 4 times 2 is 8. But for what we did here in the left, actually what we are doing is 400 times 20, which is 8,000. So instead of writing 8,000 over here, we just disregard all the other zeros and then just write the results of the multiplication of the digits, which gives us 8. But remember, there's a carryover on top of this 8, which is a 1. So we go ahead and add that 1 to our answer, which gives us 9. So now we have the result of 496 times 2 and 496 times 20, which is this one. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add both of these answers. Let's just put a line to separate our answer from these numbers. Let's put a plus sign here. So remember, this was supposed to be a 0, right? But we just disregard it. So when we add, it's actually 2 plus 0, but we disregard 0, so we're just dropping the number 2 over here. Next is 9 plus 2, which is 11, and we carry over the 1. Next is 9 plus 9, which is 18. Plus the carryover 1, which gives us 19. And then finally, we have 9 plus the carryover 1, which gives us 10. And there we have it. Using the standard algorithm, we have the answer 10,912 for the question 492 times 22. So this is now the standard algorithm. If you find it quite long, don't worry, because the actual process is a lot easier than this. It just became longer because I was explaining what happens in the background, so you understand that the standard algorithm is just a technique that simplifies the grid method. Now let me show you the true form or the real power of the standard algorithm. Let's try this by multiplying 694 33 times. So what we're going to do now is we are going to multiply each of the places of the first number to each of the places of the second number, beginning with the ones place. So let's start with the ones place. We have 4 times 3, which gives us 12. Remember, we write the last digit and then we carry over the first digit. Next, let's do 9 times 3, which is 27. But remember, we have a carryover. So 27 plus 1 gives us 28. So instead of writing 28 over here, we write the first digit, which is 8, and then we carry over the 2 over here. And by the way, these carryovers are the carryovers that we did from multiplying the ones place. And these answers are also the answers that we got from multiplying with the ones place. Next, let's do 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is equal to 18, but we have a carryover of 2, so 18 plus 2 gives us 20. Next, let's do the tens place. Let's just write tens here. So we write our carryovers for the tens place over here. Okay, let's do 4 times 3, which is 12. So instead of writing 12 over here, we just write the last digit, carry over the first digit, and then we move on to the next place. Now, since what we're actually doing here is 4 times 30, since 33 is 30 plus 3. 4 times 30 is actually supposed to be 120, right? But instead of writing 0, we just usually leave this as blank. So next, let's have 9 times 3, which gives us 27. But since we have a carryover of 1, 27 plus 1 becomes 28. And again, instead of writing 28 over here, we just write the last digit, which is 8, and then carry over the other digit, the digit to the left, which is 2. And then last, we have 6 times 3, which is 18. But remember, we have a carryover of 2, and that gives us 18 plus 2 is equal to 20. So we write the last digit over here. But since this is the last number or last digit that we're multiplying, there's no need to carry over, so we can just write the next digit over here. After that, we add these answers using the standard algorithm for addition. Okay, so that's 2 plus supposed to be 0, right? So we just drop the ones place over here. That's 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry over 1. 0 plus 8 is 8 plus 1. Gives us 9. 2 plus 0 is 2. And 2 plus 0 is also 2, which gives us the answer 22,902. So the answer to the question 694 times 33 is 22,902. Let's now try out a few more examples. Let's do 3 more problems side by side and see how fast we can do multiplication using the standard algorithm. So let's do 3 multiplication problems. We have 345 times 24. Make sure to align the places of the numbers that you're multiplying. And then let's try to multiply 863 by 45. And then let's also try 10,829 by 72. So here you're going to see the full power or the full performance of the standard algorithm, which is a lot faster as compared to the grid method. So let's multiply first each of the places by the ones place of the second number. So 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 4 is 16, but we have a carry of 2. So that's 16 plus 2 gives us 18. We carry over the 1. Next, we have 3 times 4, which is 12, but we have a carryover of 1, so we add 1 to 12, gives us 13. There's no need to carry over since our last digit was 3, so we just write the full answer over here. Next, let's do 5 times 2, which is 10. Carry over the 1 and write the 0 and just leave this as blank. Next, we have 4 times 2, which is 8, plus the carryover of 1. It gives us 9. And then last is 3 times 2, which is 6. And since there are no carryovers from 4 times 2, we just write 6 over here. Let's draw a line to separate these numbers from our answer and perform addition using the standard algorithm. So 0 plus 0 is supposed to be a 0 here. It's 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry over 1. And 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. So there we have it. Quick and easy. Our answer is 8,280. Next, let's have 863 times 45. So again, we multiply the places of the first number to the ones place of the second number. So 3 times 5 is 15. We carry over 1. 6 times 5 is 30 plus the carryover. So that's 31. And then we do 8 times 5, which is 40, plus the carryover of 3. We have 43. Now, no need to carry over the 4 since this is the last digit that we have multiplied. Next, we're going to do the tens place. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12. So we leave this blank, 12, and carry over 1. 6 times 4 is 24 plus the carryover of 1, that's 25. Next, we have 8 times 4, which is 32, plus the carryover of 2, giving us 34. No need to carry over the 3 since this is the last digit that we have multiplied. And then we draw a line over here to separate our numbers from the answer. And then we just add these numbers using standard algorithm. So 5 plus blank or 5 plus 0 is 5. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. And 3 plus 0 is 3. Let's put a comma here. And there we have it. Our answer is 38,835. And then for our last example, again, we multiply each of the places to the ones place first, and then next to the tens place. So let's have 9 times 2, that's 18, carry over 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the carryover, which is 5. No need to carry over because we didn't exceed 9. Next is 8 times 2, which is 16. We write the last digit here, and the first digit over here as a carryover. Next, we have 0 times 2 as 0, plus 1, that's carryover, so we have 1. And then 1 times 2 is 2. Next, let's multiply each of the places to the tens place. So 9 times 7 is 63. So we carry over 6 over here, and we put 3 over here. So again, this is supposed to be 9 times 70. So the answer is supposed to be 630. So it's supposed to be a 0 here. But we just disregard that and know that when you are multiplying numbers to the tens place, you start at the tens place and just leave the ones place blank. But in reality, there's a 0 there. Next, we do 2 times 7, which is 14. But we have a carryover of 6. So 14 plus 6 is 20. So we carry over 2, the first digit, and then the last digit. That's what we write down here. It's 20. Next is 8 times 7, which is 56. Since we have a carryover of 2, 56 becomes 56 plus 2, which is 58. So we write the first digit over here, that's 50, and then the last digit over here, which is 58. Next, let's have 0 times 7, that's 0, plus the carryover of 5. So we write 5, 0 plus 5. And then last, we have 1 times 7, which is 7, and we write that over here. Let's put an underline to separate our numbers from the result of the addition. And then we're going to perform addition using standard algorithm. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 8 is 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. And 7 plus 0 is 7. And there we have it. 10,829 times 72 is 779,688. Now it's time for interesting fact time. Did you know that we can actually use the standard algorithm for multiplying any number of any size? So far, we have just been multiplying numbers up to the tens place. We can actually use it for numbers that have more places. Let's write on a number with 3 places. Say, let's multiply 213 and 409. So using the standard algorithm, that's 213 times 409. So again, we multiply each of the places to each of the places of the second number, but we start with the ones place. So 3 times 9 is 27. Let's carry over 2 and write 7 down here. 1 times 9 is 9 plus the carryover of 2, which is 11. Carry over 1, we write 1 over here. And next is 2 times 9, which is 18, plus the carryover of 1, we have 19. No need to write 1 as a carryover since this is the last digit that we are multiplying. Next, let's do the tens place. So 3 times 0 is 0. Again, we leave this blank since we are multiplying now in the tens place. And since actually what we're doing is 3 times 0 tens. So we just leave the ones place blank. But that's, in reality, that is a 0 over there. Next, we multiply 1 times 0, giving us 0 as well. And then 2 times 0 is 0 as well. Next, we multiply all the places to the hundreds place. So 3 times 4 is 12. Now, since we are multiplying in the hundreds place, we leave the ones place blank, and we also leave the tens place blank. So we start writing our answer in the hundreds place. So again, 4 times 3 is 12. That's 2, that's the last digit, and we carry over 1 to remind us to add 1 when we multiply the other digit to 4. Next is 1 times 4, which is 4, but we have a carryover of 1. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. No need to carry over since 5 did not exceed the digit 9. And then last we do 2 times 4, which is 8. And since there was no carryover from 1 times 4, we just write 8 over here. We draw an underline to separate our numbers from our answer, and we're going to proceed to using standard algorithm in adding these numbers. It's very important that when you're writing your answers that you align your digits very well. Common mistake of students is they get these numbers mixed up by not writing them in clear columns. So 7 plus blank, or 7 plus 0 plus 0 is 7. 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. 9 plus 0 plus 2 is 11. Carry over 1. 5 plus 1 is 6 plus 1, that's 7. And 8 plus 0 is 8. So our answer is 87,117. And we did our multiplication, this time with 3 digits for our multiplier. Now let's review what we have learned. You can pause the video if you need more time to answer the questions. Let's begin. This method is one of the easiest ways to perform multiplication operations. The answer is standard algorithm. Try using the standard algorithm to solve the multiplication operation below, 120 times 98. The answer is 11,760. So how did we come up with this answer? Let's try to solve this problem over here. That's 120 times 98. And we're going to use the standard algorithm. So let's multiply each place to first the ones place of the second number. So 0 times 8 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry over 1. And 1 times 8 is 8. Plus the carryover of 1, that gives us 9. So since we're multiplying with the tens place now, we start at the tens place and leave the ones place blank. So 0 times 9 is 0, 2 times 9 is 18, carry over 1, and 1 times 9 is 9, plus carry over 1, which is 10. We put an underline here to separate our numbers from our answer, and we put the plus sign here, and then proceed with adding using standard algorithm. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 8 is 17, carry over 1. 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. And 1 plus 0 is 1, giving us the answer of 11,760. And that's it for now. Remember to keep on practicing your math skills with our sample exercises and workbooks. See you then! Visit mathhelptutor.com to improve your math skills and your math test scores today. You can do this through your unlimited access to all our math lessons, practice quizzes, and workbooks. You can also schedule a one-on-one tutorial session with us today. Check out the links below this video to see how you can support us if you found this video helpful. Of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video and this channel to your friends and family who might need this. See you soon!